Good afternoon, guys and dolls. This is Basta Luna with another moment, actually, not kitchen witching. I'll get to that. But a moment that I really needed to kind of share was a teachable moment from an experience that I had this weekend that I just feel led to share with you guys. So I was chilling on Saturday. I got a message from one of my family members, as my older cousin, and he wanted to I guess he needed to talk, and so he messaged me. Now, mind you, we have not had a whole lot of conversation in like a few years, just like an actual conversation back and forth, but we see each other on Facebook all the time, and you know, always give each other love that way. And that's kind of how it, you know, ends up working out when you have like a major family. I have a large family, and you don't talk to everybody all the time, but Facebook, good thing about Facebook, it does give you means to keep up with all of your folks. So it wasn't out of the blue that we were communicating. It was just that we just hadn't had like an actual phone conversation. So I called him, or he called me, and we ended up having such a beautiful 3-hour exchange. It was just so, you know, nurturing and affirming for me, and basically what the reason why I feel so honored is the fact that he allowed me to really impart to him some of the things that I've learned along the way on, my spiritual path, including ancestor veneration and things like that. You know, we just got to talking about a lot of things that were going on with him and a lot of things that go on with our family. And when I tell you, it was like something that was so healing, and it was just so beautiful. And I think when I got off the phone, I was literally just kind of buzzing because, number one, like I said, he's 20 years my senior. He's coming from a different generation, and we all know as Black folks, it's our generation, our older generations, who were not lucky enough to those of us who were lucky enough to go outside the church and study more than just Abrahamic religion, which in my opinion never was put in place to serve us, especially in the here and the now. We weren't raised like that. So, I am absolutely stepping out on a limb with my belief systems and my spirituality. And it always pleasantly surprises me when my older relatives are open, to such conversations, because it's literally, I feel called to bring back, to introduce anyway everything that I'm learning on my path to my family, so that if they so choose to, if it's something that they feel pulled to, just like I did, then it would allow them to grow, and that's the thing, you can grow no matter how old you are. So it was such a great conversation. I'm still, feeling all warm and fuzzy about it. So I get off the phone, and literally, just as I hung up the phone, I get another phone call from another relative. This relative is closer relation than my cousin. I'm just not going to say who it is, but this relative, we've been kind of estranged, but you know, he called and I was just, hey, how you doing? You know, had a conversation, kept it very, very surface, but just like I said, we've been estranged. So, you know, it's a lot of tension. And of course, he brings up something, you're asked a question that is obviously a, you know, could be construed as a hot button topic between the two of us. And I'm not a, you know, I wasn't, especially at that time when I just got off the phone with my cousin and we had such a beautiful exchange. Like I said, I was still kind of, you know, floating and feeling all warm and fuzzy from it. So, you know, when I, you know, was communing with this particular relative, I was gentle. You know, I didn't want to be, you know, I don't want to be negative in any way. However, this relative is the exact same generation, the exact same age as my cousin that I had just gotten off the phone with. He's 20 years my senior. And when I tell you how ridiculously different the two conversations were, you know, that second conversation just turned all bad. So I don't want to get into details about that, but what was extremely noticeable to me was the timing of both conversations at the same time, and who you know, the two recipients were, that, you know, the two relatives that I was communing, and how different the two conversations became. One, my cousin showed me that old adage of you can't teach an old dog new tricks is bullshit. And it always was bullshit. You know, if you are committed to, you know, your growth, you're going to grow. You will be able to, you know, change and evolve no matter how old you are. But on the other hand, my other relative showed me just how much a person can actually dig their feet into the sand to stand their ground and absolutely not go any fucking where, nowhere. They are, he just showed me that you know, he had the same kind of commitment that my cousin showed, but it was commitment to, you know, hold on to his hurt, to not have an actual conversation, but just basically impose all of, you know, his perspective without listening by any stretch of the imagination to anybody else's perspective. And no care on whether, on how their actions had affected other people, had affected anybody else. There are a lot of people that are like that in the world, you know, right now. You know, there are a lot of people who are hurt. And just like that old adage says, hurt people hurt people. It's true. It's really true. A lot of people who hurt people is because they are coming from a place of hurt. you have to be cognizant of what you commit to in this life. Are you going to commit to letting go and growing? Well, are you going to commit yourself to growing? If you are going to commit to growing, you have to let go of things. You have to not only let go of things, but you have to also be accountable for the things that you are responsible for. If you are a parent, if you're a parent and you're raising children, you're going to have your perspective on raising those kids, but guess what? The kids are also going to have their own perspective on how you raise them. And sometimes those perspectives are going to clash, in which there needs to be a conversation. But how does one have a conversation if you are not willing to listen to anything else other than your perspective? Needless to say, we didn't get anything accomplished in that conversation. As a matter of fact, I got hung up on. Is what it is. What are you doing in there? Freaking cats. But you know, it is what it is. It's definitely not the first time, and probably won't be the last time. And you know, what I understand too is that there are some people in this world who are so committed to being to their right to hurt that they will plant themselves in it. And they are, but you know, plant themselves, not just plant themselves, they're willing to bury themselves in it. Because planting means that you're actually going to grow. What my cousin was showing me is that he was willing to plant himself in a place where he can grow and stretch out and embody new ideas that, you know, we're different, but that we're different from, you know, what we were accustomed to. But he also understood that those ideas didn't serve him. And so he was willing to stretch and grow and you know, and take on new things. 20 years my senior. And I was introducing new ideas to him, and I was so grateful for that. And I wish I could have done the same thing for my other cousin, for my other relative, but it takes two. It takes like an actual back and forth. And I know that I was willing, but he wasn't willing, so it is what it is. But I say all that to say, be careful with what you commit yourself to. And if you're committed to holding on to shit, I'm not even going to say that it's ideas or whatever. I'm literally talking about holding on to shit. Pain, suffering, you know, old shit, and even, you know, going down memory lane. And boy, I tell you, when the story, when somebody, you know, tells themselves a story, and you know, they keep going on and on in their head about the story, that, you know, sometimes that story morphs into something that serves your perspectives so wholly that, you know, after a while starts to depart from actual reality. You got to be careful of that, you guys. Like, seriously, you got to be careful of that. It's not It's not, it's what we, as Black people specifically, we've got a lot of trauma in our lives anyway. You know, we've grown up with trauma. Everything around us, you know, in society is most things anyway are contributory to trauma, you know, of keeping us in a specific place in a specific mindset. And we've got to work extra hard to break free of those ties that bind us, you know. But if you're not willing to do so, and if you are willing to hold on to those traumas with white knuckles, I don't know what to tell you. But it's miserable there. I mean, why would you want to be fucking miserable all the time? I can't figure it out. I know I was proud of myself because I didn't allow myself to get swept up in that, you know, fucking hurricane. And, you know, I can't say that it still doesn't hurt, but not so much to where I lose perspective on who I am and what I contribute and you know, what I was actually trying to accomplish. I was actually trying to, you know, be truthful and have a conversation and hopefully, you know, ignite some healing, because it was such a good healing experience just before that time. But it also, like I said, it goes to show how, you know, quickly our situation changes from minute to minute, you know. And when that happens too, another message that I have to implore upon you is don't let that shit take you down. Don't let that, you know, just, you know, when you're having one, you know, great, you know, experience at one point and then something goes to kind of knock the shit out. Don't understand that that is just a moment. That is not your whole reality. You don't have to throw away your entire you don't have to throw away everything and you know, feel like everything is going to shit because you're having a bad moment. You have to look at for exactly what it is. It's a bad moment. And you can just see it for what it is and pick up and, you know, keep going. Keep going. But, yep. I wanted to tell you guys that I really feel like it has definitely been on my mind. I was going to just kind of keep it to myself, but Spirit kind of nudged me to talk about it and to share it with you guys in case somebody really, really needed to hear it. So I hope this helped you. I hope this served you in any way, shape, or form, because that's what I'm here for. And understand that even if you do experience pain, it is temporary, you know, so long as you decide that it's temporary. Don't bury yourself in pain. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day and some sunshine outside, so I'm gonna go out and try and get my vitamin D. And you guys take care. Love you.